Welcome to our third grade presentation from Sea to Shining Sea. During the program, using narration, songs, and quotes, we will tell you some of the main events in United States history. We will also tell you what was happening in our community Temecula at the same time. To begin our program, we will sing America the Beautiful. Scientists believe that Native Americans in North and South America came from Asia.
Long ago, there was a way to get to the Americas on a land bridge over what is now called the Bering Strait.
They believe the natives crossed the land bridge in search of food. Groups of people settled in different places such as valleys, plains, deserts, and forests.
Each group had to learn to meet their needs for food, shelter, and clothing in different ways. This ability to change one's environment was called adaptation.
The Native Americans who settled in Temecula were hunters and gatherers. They collected acorns and made a mush called relish. Hunting made up a small part of their diet. There were little or no clothes.
When they did wear clothes, it was protection from the cold.
The Native Americans who lived in this area had 3 types of shelters. They built these shelters from the natural resources found here.
These shelters were the cache, the ramada, and the pit house.
They were religious people who believed in one God. They believed if you reward them if they were good and punish them if they were bad.
If they were really bad, he might send an earthquake or years of no rain.
Many people wonder how Temecula got its name. One legend is an Indian chief, Nahagish, stood on a hill looking down at our valley. He named it Temecula, which means sun shining through the mist. In 1620, the pilgrims arrived from England. They came to the New World because they wanted religious freedom.
When we
colonists who had come seeking freedom of worship no longer wanted to be a part of England. They didn't like the king's laws or his manner of enforcing them.
They fought back when the king sent soldiers trying to make them obey. This was the beginning of our Revolutionary War. Here is a voice from the past, explaining some of the feelings of that time.
I am Thomas Jefferson. I wrote these famous words in the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they were endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness.
America won its independence from England. The new country continued to grow. People with many different beliefs and backgrounds came to America.
The Temecula Valley was part of Mexico during this time. Mexico was under Spanish rule.
In 1797, Juan Alberto de Santiago came to this valley looking for a site in which to build a mission and post for San Juan Capistrano. He was the first European to see this valley. He did not build a mission here.
Later, Father Perry from the San Luis Rey Mission met the Native Americans living here. The Native Americans became mission Indians and their way of life was changed forever.
Things changed again for the Native Americans in Temecula. Just as the colonists wanted to get rid of English rule, Mexico wanted to be free of Spanish rule. In 1821, Mexico won her independence from Spain. Pio Pico, the last Mexican governor of California, claimed ownership of the mission lands in the Temecula Valley.
He and several others divided up, sold, or gave away the lands to individual Mexicans.
They did this so the Mexicans could hold on to the land if the United States of America went to war over the land and Mexico lost. The Native Americans who had become mission Indians no longer had a place to live.
Do it without piercing. Do it without piercing. Do it without piercing.
Mexicans and Americans were dividing up the West, the eastern part of the country continued to grow.
Daniel Boone began the Wilderness Road, which allowed settlers to cross the Appalachian Mountains and settle in Kentucky.
Always searching for more land or a new experience, Americans built immigrant trails along which people moved from one area to another.
The Southern Immigrant Trail was a route that passed through Temecula and then went north through Los Angeles to San Francisco.
providing us with fun and excitement for over 100 years. Even though the game's gone through many changes, the rules and equipment, the first baseball game was, as we know today, was played in Hobrockland, New Jersey in 1846.
The New York 90, the New York Knickerbocker, that day 23-1.
Northern California. As you might expect, many people began coming to California in search of their fortune. They were called the 49ers. Eureka! There's gold in them there hills. The very next year, California became the third more state, and Temecula became part of Riverside County.
The Butterfield Overland Stagecoach coming west from St. Louis, Missouri stopped in Temecula.
It only operated for a few years from the Civil War interfered with its route.
One of the reasons the Civil War was fought was because most southern states wanted to own slaves and most northern states wanted to outlaw slavery.
With the help of many brave people like Harriet Tubman, slaves from the South went to the North where they knew they could be free. Here are a few words from Harriet Tubman.
I am Harriet Tubman. I was born a slave. When I was 29 years old, I went away to Philadelphia because Pennsylvania was a free state. Over the next 10 years, I helped more than 300 slaves escape to freedom, including my own family.
These runaway slaves traveled on an underground railroad, which was really not a railroad at all, but the network of safe houses for escaping slaves.
The North Star was our guide through this dangerous trip. The constellation, the Little Dipper, which we call the drinking gourd, led our slaves to the North Star, our guide to freedom.
The Civil War between the northern and southern states lasted for years. The North won and all states became free as slavery. During the war, Abraham Lincoln was president. Here are some of his famous words. I am Abraham Lincoln. In giving freedom to the slaves, we assure freedom to the free. This nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom. The government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth.
The Civil War was especially sad because it divided families and neighbors. Fathers fought sons and brothers fought brothers.
Can you picture the women and children watching the road to see if their father, son, and brother would ever come home again? 600,000 men died during the Civil War. (1861 to 1982) was a quiet time in Temecula. There was a little growth, however. Lewis Wolf opened a store by what is now the Texaco station on Margarita Avenue. He also became postmaster. The Temecula School District was formed, and ever-busy Lewis Wolf was the district's first clerk. A very sad thing happened to the Temecula Native Americans. Because of the legal problem, they were made to leave their land and were taken to the South Hills of Temecula River. This land there became the Pichinga Indian Reservation. As an old-timer said, they just dumped them there. They just dumped them.
The period following the Civil War, called the Reconstruction, was very painful for the people of the South. They were forced to rejoin the Union of the United States of America.
It was a painful time for Native Americans as well. Many were being forced off the land and forced onto reservations just as they were in Temecula. In 1863, work got started on a railroad, which would stretch from Nebraska to California. The Transcontinental Railroad workforce moved in Utah. Golden Spike joined the two rails. By 1882, 11,500 miles of track had been built in the USA.
But Temecula also had its share of railroad track. Using large Chinese crews, the California Southern Railroad completed its line from National City to Temecula through the treacherous granite walls.
With the arrival of the railroad, the town of Temecula became established in Old Town. One of the first buildings, the Wilty Hotel, was built to house those who worked on the railroad.
It burned down in 1891 but was rebuilt to look the way you see today.
The post office moved from the old wool store to Machado store on Main Street.
After winning some land in the Temecula land raffle, Philip Fulton founded Temecula Mercantile Village.
1882 through 1891 was a growth period in Temecula. In fact, because of improved transportation, many people were moving west to settle and begin communities like Temecula. The U.S. government created the Homestead Act. If a person could build a house and foods that could survive, they were given 160 acres for free.
In 1904, Walter Miller's family bought 85,500 acres. Most of the Temecula Valley and the surrounding land became one of the last great cattle ranches in California. In 1814, Francis Scott Key watched as the British burned the city of Washington in the War of 1812.
He was so thrilled to see the flag still flying after a night of shelling, he wrote his feelings down in a poem.
In 1931, some of his words were put to a tune and chosen to be our national anthem. Please stand and join us in the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner.
The world was not. From the 1940s to the 1970s, the United States was involved in 4 major wars. In 1918, we were in World War I. From 1941 to 1945, we were in World War II.
From 1950 until 1953, we fought in the Korean War. And from 1964 to 1972, we fought in Vietnam.
The U.S. had a major depression in the 1930s.
In the early 1940s, a severe drought in the Midwest turned the area into a giant dust bowl.
Woody Guthrie, folks in Ohio, wrote this song during a time when too many people are losing their homes because they're too poor to make the payments any longer. Vale Ranch was sold to the Kaiser Aetna Corporation. Developers renamed the land Rancho California.
Many people like the country atmosphere, popular wineries, and inexpensive housing available in Temecula. In 1989, Temecula became a city.
From the 60s to the present, there have been many great changes that made our country a better place for all its citizens.
Women and men of all races can vote and participate in our democracy.
Here are some voices from the recent past that ask us to remember that we are a nation united despite all of our differences.
I'm John F. Kennedy. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
I am Martin Luther King Jr. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the meaning of its creed, that all men are created equal.
We love sharing with you and hope you enjoyed our program.